Good Saturday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson. Let's go in and talk about the weather for your Saturday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to be talking about tonight. But before we get into that, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, go on and do so. We right now, so far, have, if I want to see, 6 people tuned in and only 3 likes. So go and hit the like button if you have not already. That, and then also, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet and you're new and you've never hit the subscribe button before, go on and do so. We are at 625 subscribers. We are a quarter of the way there from our main goal of 700. So if you can go and hit the subscribe button, if you have never hit the subscribe button already, please go on and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time. That, and then also, share it. Share it with all the people that you know. Share it with your friends, family members, acquaintances, anybody that you know. Go on and share it with them. Because if you do, it helps the channel out, and it'll help me get out better content as well. So, now that is all out of the way, what are we going to be talking about tonight? We will obviously be talking about what's currently going on throughout the state of South Carolina. We also will talk about what's going on in terms of the weather for tonight, in terms of what's going on through here. Then, we will go on and we will talk about the tropics. We'll talk about our short-term future, our long-term future. We will also talk about, definitely our chance for temperatures to increase. We talked about that a bit yesterday. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about all the cold fronts that could be potentially coming through, and the low flood risk that is coming as well. And so a lot of stuff to talk about, but we're gonna cover all of that right now. So starting off, look at the radar right here. What is currently going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina? Well, right now, not much, if not barely anything, if anything at all. Nothing is really ongoing at this point. But if we look at what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we do in fact have some rainfall and snowfall going on. I mean, you see rainfall going all the way from Ohio down to Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. Rainfall going on in southern Florida. Snowfall going on in Ohio, as well as Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, going inside of the Minnesota areas, Iowa, and even going on inside of Pennsylvania and western Maryland, as well as rainfall is moving throughout those areas. We also do have some rainfall and some snowfall going on up here inside of Washington State, going on inside of Oregon as well. But for the most part, that is about all that is really ongoing right now throughout the entire U.S. Now, in terms of cloud cover is actually pretty heavy right now, going throughout pretty much all regions of the state, from the upstate all the way down towards the coastal areas. Cloud cover is going on. And if we go into cloud cover for the future, going and push this forward, that cloud cover is going to continue to move its way to the east. And we'll have some more cloud cover even as we go into tomorrow morning. Right here, you can see cloud cover from the upstate all the way towards the PD areas, the low country. And we have a bit of a clearing going on in the middle of there as well. And so we'll be watching for that as we go into tomorrow morning. We'll talk about that then. But if we continue even further into the future, that cloud cover as we get into tomorrow night will really start to take over. And we really will have cloud cover going on throughout the state. And then even as we go into, this is now Monday morning, right here, Monday morning cloud cover going on still throughout the state, mostly cloudy, and then going into Monday night as well. So cloud cover is going to be a huge topping, and definitely a huge impact for our weather over here inside of South Carolina. But what about current temperatures right now? Well, it's 39 in Columbia, 37 in Orangeburg, as well as 40 in Summerville, 42 in Georgetown, and 46 in Murray's Inlet, 44 in Myrtle Beach, and 34 in Conway, 32 inside of Florence, and even around 38 in Newberry, 38 in Lawrence, and 37 in Greenville, 38 in Spartanburg, and 40 inside, or that's actually 48 inside of Charleston, 47 in Beaufort, even 40 in Clemson, 37 in Greenville, 38 in Spartanburg, 38 in Gaffney, 37 in York, and even 36 over there inside of Rock Hill. Now, what about our low temperatures for tonight? Low temperatures for tonight, seeming around 33 in Greenville, 32 inside of Spartanburg, and even around 32 in Rock Hill, 30 in Sherrod, and 33 in Florence, and Sumter, even Columbia, all 33, 36 in Orangeburg and Barnwell, even 38 in Walterboro, 38 in Moncks Corner, and 40 in Georgetown, 41 in Myrtle Beach, and 46 in Charleston, 51 inside of Hilton Head Island. And if we go on and look at the high temperatures for tomorrow, Going to be around 61 in Columbia, 64 in Orangeburg, and 66 in Moncks Corner, 66 also in Walterboro, as well as 67 in Charleston, 69 Hilton Head, and 50 up there in Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, 65 over there inside of Myrtle Beach, and 66 inside of Georgetown. Now for your rainfall, as we go throughout tonight and as we go throughout the next 24 hours in general, this is really the only threat that we're looking at right now. Not much at all. Rainfall possible all the way from the upstate all the way into even the PD areas as well. And so we'll look at the models and see what the models have to say. Does it agree? Does it not agree? We'll check all that out in just a second. But let's go into the crazy score first, because tonight we're at a 14. You might be asking, well, why a 14? Clouds are increasing. Clouds are definitely increasing. That no precipitation really is expected. I mean, we still might see some, but the majority of us will still remain dry, and so that's another big reason. Winds are going to be nice and light, nice and calm winds, and our hard freeze pretty much throughout the entire state almost is pretty much done with at this point. So we're no longer going to be down in the 20s and inside of the low 30s for everybody now. And even inside the long-term future, I mean, throughout at least the next week or so, or at least throughout the next 6 days or so, it looks like that we're not going to be back in any 20s either. I mean, unless you have some isolated areas, but for the most part, it looks like that we won't see really any sort of hard freezing. Now for the SPC outlook, no thunderstorms are expected tonight or tomorrow, but on Monday, December the 1st, first day of December, thunderstorms are possible along that coastal region right there. So the coastal low country going from Charleston over towards Hilton Head, over into Beaufort, over towards coastal Colleton County, also over there. Just pretty much near that border area is where we are seeing the chance for potentially some thunderstorm activity to go. Excessive rainfall is not expected at this time either for the next 2 days until we get to day 3. Day 3, that's Monday right here. Isolated flash flooding is possible over here in the western part of the state, from Greenwood to Abbeville to Iva to McCormick and Edgefield. All of these areas, isolated flash flooding possible for you. And then on day 4, pretty much a lot of the state goes from Lancaster all the way to Winsboro, Columbia, McCormick, over towards North Augusta, to Allendale, to Walterboro, to Somerville, to Latson, to Charleston, to Moncks Corner, to Georgetown, to Myrtle Beach, to Loris, to Florence, to Dillon. All these areas has a chance for some isolated flash flooding on Tuesday. Wednesday, it goes away though, no longer a threat anymore. So let's go on and look at the models now. We're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. You can see for the most part, this is what it was set for at 9 o'clock p.m. You can see not exactly what's happening, but you can see as the night progresses, it shows some rainfall trying to make its way through the low country, but probably not enough to really accumulate. Even as you go into around 3 to 4 to 5 a.m., you can see rainfall is there, but it's not like anything too heavy at all, just like some light rainfall. That goes on all the way to 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the morning, and then you can see that rainfall starting to take shape up there inside of the upstate, which is why we have that chance of rainfall up there and that accumulation up there potentially possible. And that will move even more as we go into around 5 p.m., moving into the southern areas of the upstate. And then by the time it gets to the Midlands, it's going to be around 6 o'clock p.m.-ish, somewhere around that time frame. We get to 12 a.m. tomorrow night, and we still have rainfall moving throughout the state. Now this goes all the way through. Now this is past the 7 p.m. tonight to 7 p.m. tomorrow accumulation forecast that I just showed you. So this is even further in the future, but it shows rainfall traversing its way throughout the state all the way through into the low country by 2 a.m. on December the 1st, and then it finally goes away. And yes, we still have some isolated showers behind it, but we have this big system right here to watch for behind it. That's going to bring us a good amount of rainfall. We'll see what happens there, but if we want to go and take an early look at it, which you can't look at it there, but you can certainly look at it here on the NAM. The NAM has this thing coming through and bringing a good amount of rainfall. It is a bit behind because it was last updated at 2 o'clock p.m., which obviously was 7 hours ago, so 7 hours are missing from the run. But for right now, it looks like that it could potentially bring a lot of good rainfall. It pretty much covers almost the entire state of Alabama, covers almost the entire state of Georgia, and like the entire like panhandle of Florida as well. So something that we're definitely gonna have to watch for, especially on December the 2nd. We've been talking about that system for a good little bit now, but the main thing that I'm watching for right now is this rainfall that's gonna try and move in as we go into like tomorrow. Even as early as tomorrow morning, going into like tomorrow, like late night. Now, what about the long term future? We start off here at the 54-hour mark. You can see all that rainfall moving in on December the 2nd. Look at all that rainfall that tries to move its way throughout the state. By around 7 a.m., you go all the way to 1 p.m. A lot of rainfall. 7 p.m., it all kind of moves its way out of there a little bit. But that's when you get to around like 7 p.m., so that's like the evening time, and it's low resolution, so not exactly the most accurate, but it does show this thing getting out of here like during like the nighttime hours. Now, even as you go into the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th finally brings in some more rainfall, even going into the 6th as well. And you can even see right here, this is freezing rain right here on the top side of it. Now, if we go into the run past, it doesn't show it anymore, so that might just be like a one-run thing. I'll watch for that, but it does show some freezing rain right there inside of that northern part. No snow or anything like that, but it does show freezing rain up there. Interesting to take a look at. Even as you go into the 7th as well, look how much rainfall we're going to get there. Cold front behind it brings us some cold air behind that, and then stays dry all the way through towards like the 15th. So we stay dry all the way through from like the 8th of December all the way to like the 15th. So that's what we're going to be looking at in terms of rainfall. Now, in terms of our air, our temperatures, all of that stuff, you want to look at the temperature anomalies. We start off cooler than average all the way through the 30th, through the 1st, but the 1st and the 2nd kind of bring some more warmer air. And so as you go in and continue to push that forward all the way through, cold air continues its way through the 3rd, the 4th, going through the 6th. Yes, there is warm air. There definitely is a good amount of warm air there. But when we have warm air, when we have above average temperature, that does not mean that it's warm. And so this scenario right here shows 60s. 60s is, it's definitely warmer than 50s and 40s, but, that's about as warm as it's going to get. And so you have some 70s down there, obviously, in, like, southern Georgia and Florida. That has nothing to do with us, though. And then we'll get right back down into those potentially below freezing temperatures as we go into, like, December, like, the 9th, going into, like, December the 10th. And so we go back into the actual anomalies themselves. Below average, and a huge amount of warm air tries to come through as we get into mid-December, and it stays there for a good little bit as well. So something to watch for there. Now, like I said, warm air doesn't necessarily mean that the air is like 80 degrees, even though right here it almost shows 80 degrees. You have like mid-70s, but again, 400 hours out, things can change, and so this could potentially be a change right here that we're going to have to look at. But warm air definitely is coming. Said that yesterday, same thing. Warm air is coming. And that's pretty much all I have to say here in terms of the long-term future. We all know about the train of cold fronts at this time, about how we're going to have like a bunch of cold fronts trying to come through. And so let's go on now and talk about the tropics. Tropical cyclone activity is not expected as we go throughout the next 7 days, so we are good there in terms of the tropics. If I go on and check out the ensembles themselves, that is not the ensembles, this is the ensembles right here. We go all the way throughout the next 10 days or so, still nothing. I think we're about to get to that. We're really getting to that point now where we really think that, not too much really left in terms of hurricane season. In fact, tomorrow is the last day of hurricane season. We're getting to that ending point. Now we're going to start seeing the recaps of hurricane season, what we saw. And Chantal, which I remember the name, was the only storm to really impact us in terms of like a direct landfall. It was a tropical storm. It wasn't much. It was actually right on July the 4th. I think it was like the day after July the 4th. That storm took place. I mean, it was a bit breezy, rainy, but nothing too bad or anything like that. But that was really the only storm that impacted us. That's it in terms of the tropics, though. Now, something that did occur was an earthquake. An earthquake did, in fact, occur throughout the state. It was a small one. But if we want to look at the earthquake map, there was one over here inside of Elgin, South Carolina. It was only a magnitude of 2, so it wasn't anything terrible or anything like that. But it was just around like a good 20, 30 miles to the north and east of Columbia-ish. I think that, I'm just taking it from a scale here, but near Elgin, South Carolina, that's where it was, around 2. Again, only a magnitude of 2, so not really anything special. Now, when did that occur? It seemed like it occurred, it says yesterday around 9:45-ish. I believe that's 9:45 in the morning. It doesn't say a.m. or p.m., so it just says 9:45. Rather that be p.m., then that's probably why I didn't catch it yesterday. And that's all that I see here in terms of the earthquake map. So let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. You also have to be a subscriber of the channel if you want to go on and put something inside of the chat. And so, let's go on and talk about that. So starting off, Ms. Tawry was here first tonight. She says, "Good evening, cool, breezy, sunny day at my house. The pond is getting low, and the mallards paid a visit today." Well, glad to hear that. Some rainfall definitely is needed. Seems like we will get a good dose, though, as we go into next week, though. My Aunt Shirley says, "Good evening to all. A cold day in Raleigh. Blessings to all." Thank you so much for that. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for that weather report. My Nana says, "Hi, dear, a little cold, but not too bad." Thank you so much for that weather report. Ms. Oliver says the Somerville tree lighting is happening on Tuesday. Is it supposed to rain? Well, unfortunately, there's like a 90% chance of rain on Tuesday, but then as you go throughout like the nighttime, it goes down to around like a 20. So, yeah, it is most likely going to rain. On Tuesday. Charles says, "Greetings, everyone. Greetings to you." And then Mr. Oliver says, "Chattanooga has some sleet happening right now." If I go in and check out the radar right now, I can actually kind of see it. If I go over to winter weather, it says rainfall still. So I guess maybe this map right here thinks it's a bit warmer than what it actually might be. But this is just what it says. Still says rainfall over in that area. But back here, though, Thad says, "Good evening, Joseph. I trust all is well. All is good here in San Antonio. A great day here." Well, thank you so much for that weather report. Glad that all was good for where you are. My cousin Cheryl comes in and says, "Good evening, weatherman. Good evening, everyone. I hope y'all all had a thankful Thanksgiving. I'm at work, but I'm listening. Do your thing, weatherman. Love you." Thank you so much for that. And thank you for listening to us while you're at work. Ms. Oliver says, "Flash flooding on Tuesday. So will there be rain between 4 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, December the 2nd? It's too far out to talk about specific hours. But if I go all the way through, I think I can actually go all the way to Tuesday. I'm going to go to the 4 p.m. real quick. In between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock, yeah, it's likely. In terms of rainfall, it is likely. So, seems like right now that it's definitely going to rain. Now, how hard will the rainfall be? That's the question that we're going to have to wait to see, as that's just way too far out to tell. But I will say that there's still hope that it could potentially shift. It can come a bit earlier, it can go later, just whenever it happens. But right now, it's just too far out for that. And that's all that I have for the chat. I don't see anything else in here, so we're going to come back to it, though. But first, before we come back to the chat, let's go on and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations, what are you talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 locations is because we have people from these 4 areas who tune in almost nightly. And so because of that, we go on and give them their forecast because of the support that they give. And even though their location is not being talked about, they still go on and join us either way. At least it's not the main one. And so let's go on and talk about these 4 areas. Starting off with San Antonio first, you have low temperatures tonight at 48, high temperatures tomorrow at 51, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 43. Chance of showers tonight, no precipitation tomorrow during the day, but tomorrow night there is also another chance of showers there as well. So something to look out for as you go into tonight and tomorrow. As I know, y'all definitely still need the rainfall. Now, in terms of the SPC outlook, no thunderstorms are expected for you. And then in terms of excessive rainfall is possible tonight, and that's it. So isolated flash flooding possible with some of those showers that are moving through tonight, but that's it. Then for Raleigh, you have low temperatures tonight at 29, high temperatures tomorrow at 54, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 35. No precipitation tonight, chance of rainfall tomorrow and tomorrow night as well. In terms of excessive rainfall and severe weather, that is not a concern at all. And then in terms of excessive rainfall on Tuesday going into Wednesday, you do have a chance for some excessive rainfall on that day. So you're going to have to watch for that as you go into Tuesday and Wednesday, isolated flash flooding. Then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 31, high temperatures tomorrow at 46, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 32. No precipitation tonight, rain is likely tomorrow, and no precipitation is expected tomorrow night either. And then in terms of severe weather, excessive rainfall, none of that is really expected until you get into around like Tuesday. On Tuesday going into Wednesday, isolated flash flooding possible for you. And then that's it in terms of excessive rainfall and severe weather. And then for Duncan, Oklahoma, with low temperatures tonight at 25, high temperatures tomorrow at 41, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 32. No precipitation is expected at this time. No severe weather is expected at this time, and no excessive rainfall is either. So you're good there in terms of the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. So not really much. Definitely some stuff going on, but not as much. And that's about all I can say for these. Oh, that's weird. Okay, there we go. That's all I can say for the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. So what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news wise? It says a significant winter storm will produce a broad area of moderate to heavy snow from the Midwest through the western Great Lakes. Significant snow accumulations of 6 to 12 inches and locally potentially more than a foot. And gusty winds may cause hazardous travel conditions, thunderstorms, some severe, and showers may produce locally heavy rainfall, isolated flash flooding. That's along like the western Gulf Coast. So we have snow up in the north, severe weather, flash flooding potentially down in the south, freezing temperatures going on throughout the south. You have even some snow going on inside the Rockies as well, and so just a bunch of stuff going on. And that's all that I really have in terms of the entire U.S. In terms of the chat, I don't see anything else. So let's go ahead and talk about the top fans for the night tonight. Top fans for the night tonight. I believe Miss Tolliver was number 1. My Aunt Shirley was number 2. And then my Nana was number 3. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to be here early. You have to be a subscriber of the channel so you can type. And you also have to be active inside the chat as well. And that's all. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. If you have not hit the like button yet, go ahead and do so. 16 people watching and only 7 likes. If you're a part of that 9 that have not hit the like button yet, go ahead and do so. Hit the subscribe button, 625, trying to get to 700. If you are new, go on and hit it. If you have never hit the subscribe button before, go on and hit it. If you have, don't hit it a second time. And then hit the share button. Share it with all the people that you know, friends, family members. Also, people you may not like. Somebody that you are behind at Zaxby's today. Just somebody you can go on and send it to. So they can go on and hit the like button, the subscribe button, and support the channel. And that is all. So I will be back tomorrow morning with your Sunday morning forecast update. Tomorrow, we will have the week forecast for the week of November the 30th going into December the 6th. And then on Monday will be the winter forecast and the December forecast. So that will be on Monday. But that's all. So I will be back tomorrow morning. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Saturday.